Hey, good evening everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to another Leadership Lean In on this glorious beach. We've taken advantage of some cheap flights and we've hit Spain.
Absolutely.
Absolutely loving life. So yeah, can you guess where we are?
Yeah. Which part of the Spanish Main are we on?
Now, if you watched last week, you'll know that Alex promised big prizes for anyone who could guess pinpoint the exact location of where we recorded.
Yeah.
And
that was a mistake.
Unbelievably,
That was a mistake.
Just with the knowledge of there was a hedge, 2 people guessed it.
Yeah.
And so what are the prizes?
That was a couple of weeks ago now, wasn't it?
No, it was last week.
No, it was a couple of weeks ago.
It was a couple of weeks ago,
Couple
you're
of
right.
weeks ago.
So what have you delivered to them? Because it's been a couple of weeks now.
Well, I need to organise these prizes. Thanks for pointing that out.
Come on, Kenny and Zoe, you've got to chase them up for that.
Yeah, thanks for
He's
pointing
promised
that out.
big
Thanks
things.
for pointing that out.
And so if you can get it today, I don't think we're going to make such big promises.
No, it's definitely not my promises. It's definitely not my promises.
We've learned the lesson.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, if you can guess where we are, then we will leave in an extra bit of clip of me and Joel having a dip after this, just for you.
That is absolutely not happening. Okay, so
my trunks.
No. Okay, so did you have a good Sunday?
Yeah, we had a great Sunday, and it was so nice to see Val hosting, and it's brilliant to continue the Pioneer series, looking at Levi or Matthew meeting Jesus and inviting all of his friends round. And it's just, I've really enjoyed thinking about Alpha, like building up, thinking about what the course we're going to run in September, and even just personally thinking, who can I invite? I mean, the story that we showed yesterday was just really moving. And it's just so great to hear Val's story as well, like that she became a Christian through Alpha, and we just want to see so many more Vals. That's why we've started this church. And so I just really encourage you. We're gonna, I guess, building up to September, we'll be talking about Alpha more, especially once we hit September. We don't know exactly when it's going to start yet, do we? But we just really encourage every single person to think, who can I invite? This is the whole reason we started Redeemer. And so as Redeemers, we all want to be thinking like that. Who can we invite? Who can we invite? So think about that now. We've tried to give you a reasonable amount of notice. And I think just one of the big benefits of doing it on Zoom is just going to be the accessibility, the small amount of time people have to give up, the barriers that are removed for not having to enter a physical space, not knowing people. And so we just really want to pack out those screens with as many people as possible to explore the claims of Jesus.
Yeah, and hearing stories I just find so helpful. It's so easy to think, oh, but my friends, how negatively about how your friends might respond, how people you ask might respond. So I loved hearing that story, especially that one yesterday really got me. Just thinking actually that could be, these people I've been praying for, these people I want to invite.
Yeah.
That could be them. So yeah, do be praying for your friends and family and people you're thinking about inviting for September, because we're really expecting God to move and God to use it powerfully. Yeah. So we're excited for that.
So the last few weeks we've actually spent these doing something a bit different. We have been using these for kind of just news and catch up, but we spent the last 3 weeks looking at what we called Pioneer membership. So what does it mean to be part of Redeemer? So we looked at 3 things: leadership, hope you can say these off with me, leadership, vision and family priorities. And by now you should have...
You'll be going through family priorities in your groups.
That's right, this week, family priorities. And so I hope that's really, really good discussion. And what we're not going to do is ask you to kind of buy in. We're kind of assuming buy-in at this point, because although we've had new people joining planting groups, which is great, really great, yeah. And we've got more people kind of that have been connecting with us and being knitted in, which is really fantastic. But most of you signed up and said, I wanted to plant Redeemer. And so we're kind of taking that as your buy-in moment. But we just wanted to really flesh out, I guess, some of the detail of what we see that it means to be part of Redeemer. But if you do have any further questions, further things you want to ask, further things you want to discuss, we'd love you to talk to your planting groups. Obviously, you've been doing that in discussion. We'd love you to talk to your planting group leaders. And you're really welcome to get in touch with us. We'd love to talk with you. If you've got any thoughts, questions, even concerns, we'd love to chat it through, because we want to be a family together. We don't want to, just ignore things, sweep things under the rug. We want to talk about things. So we'd love you to do that.
Yeah, that's the whole point of doing this. We want to be clear about what we're about and what we're going for. And so if there's anything that's not super clear for you, and you've not gone through it with your group leaders, then do come to us so we can talk about it. And so summer's coming up.
Summer, I feel like
we're on the beach. We're absolutely loving life.
Like I'm in summer.
Apart from your 3-week holiday
and my dip in a minute.
And your dip in a minute.
Okay.
I was in the
Should
pool.
we just go
over
do the
the
dip now and get it over? These guys, they won't mind waiting 5
I
minutes.
did not come prepared.
Okay.
I mean,
You're always prepared. You're always prepared.
And so we got stuff going on over summer. We're going to have a nice rest for the groups. There's a pause with the groups. There's a rest time for some of the things that we're doing.
Talk about that though. Why is that important? It's not just because we want some time off.
Yeah.
Why is it important to have like rest moments, pause moments?
And so we just want healthy rhythms as a church, and so we're trying to deliberately build those in from the start. So the way we, with our groups for the people in the groups, but also for the leaders, and just because we see, we've just been thinking about it and challenged by it more over the last 3 or 6 months as we've been, building up to launching Redeemer. And you see in the Bible that there's work, there's times of work, and there's times of rest.
Yeah.
And so that's really important for us. And so do take this opportunity to rest, obviously still connect with people and build relationship with people in your groups and your friends. But do take time to rest. And so we're to help us as a church do that. We're having a rest from things that we're doing online on YouTube, and so there's no over August, no digging deepers, no worship togethers. Yeah, we're going to do one of these just towards the end of the month, just to kind of catch you up on anything that's coming up in September. We thought that'd be helpful, but we're not going to be praying together as a church on Zoom over August. I do make sure we've got one more of those, I think, this month in 2 weeks, which we'll talk about a bit later. And so do make sure you're there. But over August, we won't have those. And never mention anything else. Obviously, Sunday mornings, we're still together.
Yeah, and Redeemer Kids, we're still doing that.
Going on.
Yeah, and actually we just really want you to make the most of this summer period. Like Joel said, it's really important that we have like a rhythms of work, rhythms of rest. And actually the rest isn't like time off, it's actually when you look at like the way that the Hebrews structured their calendar, they had like what they would think of as sacred time and ordinary time. And rest time is like sacred time. Actually, we think it's the kind of unimportant time because we're not doing stuff, but actually it's the most important time, and it kind of refreshes us and give kind of fresh meaning to the work time, as it were, when we hit the autumn, when we really want to see people come to know Jesus, when we want to do alphas, when we want to do all these things. But actually, one of the ways that we rest well is to do community, is to do family. And this has been a strange time for building a family. And so we just love you to consider throughout the whole of the summer, I guess especially in August, but from now, who can you invite to your house on Sundays to do Redeemer Online together? Who can you have round? What family, what couple, what individual can you invite into your home, maybe have breakfast together or coffee together, watch church together, and just so we start to develop some family stuff. And I guess I'd just encourage you to especially think of people that you wouldn't, that I guess aren't your natural group of friends. It's really nice to spend time with friends, really important actually. But if we all only do that, there'll always be people that just naturally feel left out, get left out. Yeah. Actually, we want to be a really inclusive family. So think who can I include who I wouldn't naturally think of spending time with.
Yeah, who in your group do you want to get to know better?
Yeah, yeah, through groups. That's a great way of doing it.
You spend time with them on Zoom, but you've not spent time with them in person. Yeah. So yeah, invite. We've got a little list of people we're inviting over the summer. From our group and from from other people in church. So we're really looking forward to having our Sunday mornings with different people over August. So yeah, do think about that.
And just at the moment, just so you know, we're kind of considering what September is going to look like. So the kind of guidance changes all of the time, and we really want when we have our first full-on, full-blown, full-blooded physical gathering as Redeemer, we just really want that to be a special moment. And so we're not feeling pressurized into rushing to that. We're taking our time in thinking when that's going to be, and obviously when we're allowed to do that. But we are thinking, how can we build family together in September? What does that look like? What does it look like to do some physical stuff? So we're just thinking about that with the leadership team at the moment, what our rhythms in the autumn look like, but also what Sundays could look like and how we could do that, maybe in a slightly enhanced way, community-wise, I guess, than we're doing now. So just watch this space for that, and we'd really love you to pray for the leadership team, because these are kind of really important moments for us as a new church, and so we just want to get some of those things right. Yeah,
we do want to do. Yeah, we want to do that well. Want to launch well. Yeah. And so I'm kind of excited about some of the possibilities.
Had some really great suggestions already, talking with the leadership team about it. So we're just going to explore some of those.
Yeah. And so we are thinking about it. We are keen to be together now. Just even I don't know, whenever it is we're allowed to sing again.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about that moment when we can be together and sing together, not to a screen, but to other people in the church. And so, it's going to be great. But before we get to that point,
this time's actually been good for us, hasn't it? Because I guess it's forced us to think particularly about like the reason that we started this church is for people that don't know Jesus. So even though we're really keen for the time we can have our first proper physical gathering together, it's really put like front and center of our minds, if it wasn't already, what's that going to look like for people that don't know Jesus? And so we really want you to be thinking about that and praying about that, talking in your groups about that. I know some of you have, especially when we did the Vision Pioneer membership stuff. Like, what does it mean to be a church for people that don't know Jesus? And there's some big questions we need to wrestle through, and lots of stuff we've not come to conclusions about yet. But talking about our kind of first big physical gathering, whenever that happens to be, obviously in the future we're hoping and expecting and praying that's going to be at the Gilbourne Centre. And so in 2 Sundays time, we are going to have Gilbourne Centre Sunday.
come on.
The 26th of July. We've really progressed now. We've agreed all of the terms to do with like progressing with the Gilbourne Centre. We're waiting for contracts to be signed. Still got a little bit of working through some details. And we want to give you loads more information. So in 2 weeks' time from today, we're going to have a lean-ins. That'll be the 27th of July. I think up in the Gilbourne Centre, myself and Matt Sellens, who's on the leadership team, also the chair of the Redeemer Trustees, we're going to be doing a special episode just about the Gilbourne Centre, what we're thinking about it, how we're going to use it, how it's progressing, lots of details, how we're going to move forward. But that Sunday, the 26th, is going to be a really important Sunday for us. We're going to film the whole thing up there, hosting, singing and worship, talk. We've got some videos that we're going to be showing you. And really it's just, I guess, a chance for us to get our heads into that world, into that space, get our hearts into it. I guess feel like a rise of faith in that moment for all that God is going to do there. And we're also going to be starting our series in Jonah. And I'm really looking forward to that. We've called it Jonah, Taking Jesus to the Centre. And that's really going to be about our vision. But the more I've thought about the story of Jonah that we're going to be unpacking over 6 or 7 weeks, I think, is it's actually not a story about a guy who goes to a city full of people that don't know God, although it is about that. It's actually about God pursuing a guy. And I think that before we take Jesus to the centre of our town, we said this a few weeks ago in the Pioneer membership stuff, we've got to take Jesus to the centre of our own lives. And so that's where we're going to be going with Jonah. And I'd just love to recommend a quick couple of books to you that I meant to have with me in hand, and I've completely forgotten, but we'll post something about them and we'll show them at different points. So the first is, maybe they'll appear on the screen magically in this moment.
Who knows?
Who knows? I'm not committing to that. So the first is a book called The Prodigal Prophet by Tim Keller, which is a kind of study / devotional kind of book about the book of Jonah. It's really accessible.
Really easy read.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I can
You've
read it,
right?
I've read it.
Joel can read it. Anyone can read it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just found it so helpful. I've read been looking at quite a few commentaries on the book of Jonah, and actually the Prodigal Prophet kind of has been the most helpful of the lot. So I'd really encourage you to read that. You can read that throughout the 7 weeks we're looking at Jonah. Really easy to read in that kind of time frame. And it will really do you good. So I'd encourage you to buy that, The Prodigal Prophet by Tim Keller.
Yeah.
And the other book is a book by a guy called Ben Lindsay, and it's called We Need to Talk About Race. And a couple of points during the Jonah series, we're just going to really touch on the issue of race and racism. We're thinking we're going to have a particular Sunday where we're going to do that kind of halfway through the Jonah series. And this is a big cultural issue going on right now. And we've talked about that. We've done a little bit about that, but we just want to dig a little bit deeper into that issue. I guess to allow God to speak to us and kind of allow him to speak into our hearts about the kind of church that we want to be. I guess like I said about Jonah, we want to take Jesus to the centre of issues to do with race and racism, and maybe repent of some things where we've not got things right, but also to build something that honours Jesus. So this book, we Need to Talk About Race by Ben Lindsay, it's again really easy read, but just a fantastic book, kind of just exploring initially that whole kind of question of race and racism. So I'd love you to check those 2 books out. But it's going to be a great Sunday, right?
Going to be a great Sunday. Well, I'm excited just to get up there. It feels like so long ago that we met up there. When was it?
It was the end of October when we went up there for that evening.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was October.
And I think that was the evening where we had a Vision Sunday when we were at Jubilee, and we talked about planting this church.
I thought that was this year. That was that long ago.
Planting this
Oh,
church,
man.
talked about
It does feel
Gilbourne
like
Centre.
a lifetime ago.
So that was 6. No, it's not 6 months ago, is it?
Longer.
Where are we?
It's like 9 or 10
Mid-July.
months. 9 months.
Oh my life!
So it's just, I'm so excited. I can't believe it's
See
that long.
this
But I'm so
hairline?
excited.
See this hairline?
It's been a long journey.
It's literally. I was literally. My hair was down here. Just hair to hair, hair to eyebrows, and it's just.
It's been such a long time,
It's
and
been
so
such a long time.
I'm so excited to get up there again.
Yeah.
And so I've forgotten what the space looks like.
Come on.
And so yeah, so it's going to be a great Sunday. It'll be nice. We're going to have the band up there
Yeah.
singing together. So it'll be great to be able to actually sing in person
Yeah.
with a couple of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a great Sunday. So do check out, and if you've got friends who are curious about what we're doing, that's a great one to say. Why don't you check out on YouTube? You can see what the Gilbourne looks like on the first floor.
Yeah.
It's pretty rustic, industrial kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be great to be up there, and we've done shot a few videos for it, and so it's going to be a great Sunday.
So we just love you to invite friends to that Sunday. Like, share it online, send the link to people, because not only are we starting Jonah, which I think is going to be a great book to engage people that don't know Jesus, but this is a huge thing for our town, and we really want to make the most of that. The season that we're in now is a unique season where we've started a brand new church, and we're going to do up and then launch in space that the town knows about, probably doesn't like, but we're just going to be the people that love it, that talk positively about it, that invest a shed load of money in it, and redeem it for Jesus. And so I just say, look, big stuff is happening in the Gilbourne Centre. Love you to check out this Sunday. That'd just be a great way to just draw more people in.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So stuff coming up.
What
have we got?
So this week we've got the Digging Deeper, the final one in Leviticus.
And Rodney's taking it.
Me.
You're taking it.
Yeah. The final one in Leviticus.
Oh, in Leviticus. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like I've been in a marathon. I feel like I've been in an epic struggle.
For those
it's been
of
a
you
life or
who've
death
run with
struggle.
Him, well done.
I have loved it. I probably, in the minority, me and 3 other people have absolutely loved it. But it's genuinely been great. And so check out
So our last in Leviticus, but we've got one after that, right?
No, 2 after that.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Up until the end of July, where Rodney's going to do a 2-parter on apostles and prophets, which are kind of a really misunderstood pairing in the Bible. It often talks to people who have no idea what that is or think they know and get something really weird and wacky, but really important for us to understand what those 2 things are to build a healthy church. So that's coming up in the next few weeks. So we've got Digging Deeper this week.
Worship Together is happening on Friday.
Yep.
But there's a change to that, so we've been doing it on Zoom, but just for various issues to help make it a better experience and a bit more reliable, perhaps we're moving to Facebook Live, and so if you're part of the Redeemer community page on Facebook, you'll have access to that. If you don't and you're part of the church, then let us know. We can add you to the group, but that would be great. So that's this Friday, 7:30. I can see the sun's going down.
It's going down.
We're
I just
having
realised.
a swim. We need
to be quick. Let's wrap this up.
What else is going on? Sunday, Redeemer Kids. We had a great time.
I didn't bring my Speedos for nothing.
We made cookies yesterday. Evelyn and Caleb absolutely loved it. We had a great time. We loved seeing the Atwood story. Love seeing the Ludlows.
That's a good point.
Dancing.
We just really love those of you that have got Instagram or Facebook. We'd love you to post stuff, tag us in. It's just it kind of builds a bit of community, but also it helps our exposure. And I think it's just good for followers.
I mean, this video is going to help you. In 5 minutes, when you're jumping in the sea, it's going to be some serious exposure.
And this is going to go viral. I'm a bit concerned.
I mean, any publicity is good publicity.
Right, there's no bad press. So what are we doing?
Sunday morning, invite some friends over.
Yes. So what are we doing this Sunday?
This Sunday.
It's a big Sunday.
We're doing this Sunday. This is our final, am I right this time? This is our final week in the Pioneers.
Yes.
Our final week in the Pioneers.
So we started that when we started the church. We're finishing it now. We've done like 12 or something weeks.
We are in Luke 5 and we're going to be finishing on fasting. And so to go with that, the following Friday, we are going to have a day of prayer and fasting.
Yes, our first of Redeemer, a day of prayer and fasting.
And so if it's new to you, we're going to talk about it on Sunday. We're going to share some stuff in the groups. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be, and it will end with our prayer, praying our prayer together at 7:30 on.
So that's
a
week
thing.
Friday.
A week Friday.
And so there's going to be things to pray for throughout the day, every hour. So even if you're working or you've got a busy day, just even if you can set aside like 60 seconds, 2 minutes, we're going to give prayer pointers. We're going to give scripture to pray throughout the day, every hour for different things, culminating, like you said, in the evening. So that's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Anything else? No. Done.
No idea.
Swim time.
But this is our last one, right? Until we do maybe the one in the summer.
Yeah. So next week, Andrew
Yes.
Wilson. We're going to Andrew Wilson, which is going to be great. Alex spoke to him
Interview with
a
Andrew
little
Wilson
while ago.
about theology, lockdown, what we
If
should
you-
be thinking, what we should be engaging with.
And if you don't know Andrew Wilson, fantastic guy, fantastic communicator,
Yeah.
just always worth listening to. So do check that
Yeah.
out next week. And then the following week is Alex and Matt, who are going to be talking all things Gilbourne.
Yeah,
Don't miss it.
and that'll be the last one before the summer, before August.
Yeah.
Great.
There you go. Thanks
It's
for
been
sticking
great.
with us.
You've been great. I've been great. And I'm going to go and get in the sea in my Speedos. Wait there. I'm just going to get them.
And I'm just going to turn this off and leave, because the last thing I want to do is see Alex get changed into his Speedos.